In this video, I will show you how you can use Text Animator for Unity with our dialog system asset. I have already imported dialog system and Text Animator into my project, and currently I am in the sample RPG scene provided with the dialog system. Let me just hit play and I will show you what we have in the scene. Alright, so in the scene we have a character that we can move around, and once we walk next to the NPC, we can press I on the keyboard and this dialog UI will show. Here we have a name of the speaker, a dialog text, and a button for moving to the next node. Now, as you can see, the dialog UI is currently a bit boring because we don't have any effects here. So let's use Text Animator to make our dialog UI a bit more interesting. First of all, we need to add some components to our dialog text in our dialog UI. So let's just open up Canvas, dialog UI, and dialog text. This is a placeholder for showing the text of our dialog. Now all we have to do is add Text Animator component as well as Text Animator player component. In the Text Animator component, make sure that you check Use Easy Integration. And now that's actually all we need to make Typewriter effect work. So let's go ahead and hit play and see what happens. Alright, so let me just walk next to the NPC, and when I press I, as you can see, the Typewriter effect is working. If you want to apply special effects only to a certain part of the text, you can do it easily in the dialog tree editor. Now what I will do is I will open up RPG Dialog 1 in the tree editor, and here I will just replace this text with the same text, only this time it will already have special effects. Now, the way you add special effects is you basically wrap the text inside these tags, and these are basically provided with the Text Animator asset. There are several different special effects that you can use, and once you input these tags in the message field, that's basically all you need to do to make them work. So let me just hit play so that you can see how it works. Alright, so now I'll need to pick up the heart to show the correct dialog, and once I press I, as you can see, the congrats has bounce effect and the thought should have the fade effect. Finally, let me show you how you can integrate Text Animator with our custom script. Let's say that we want to implement the following behavior. If the user clicks on the next button and the typewriter effect is still playing, we want to basically skip the typewriter effect and show the full text immediately. And if the typewriter effect is already finished, we want to move to the next node after clicking on the next button. To do that, we will need to move to Dialog UI Manager script, which is right here. So let's just open it up in the Visual Studio. Okay, so the first thing that we need in our script are some variables. The first variable is a reference to Text Animator player, and then the second variable will tell us whether the typewriter effect is currently playing. Alright, so now we can move on to the start dialog function, and all we have to do is just replace this code with the following code. And what we do here is we set the onClick event for our next button to call the onNextButtonClicked function. Then we set the onTypewriterStart event to set the isTypewriting boolean to true. This event is called whenever our Text Animator player starts typewriting effect. And finally, the onTextShowed event is called whenever the player shows the full text, or basically whenever the typewriting effect is over, and that's when we want to set our boolean to false. Now let me just paste the onNextButtonClicked function right under here, and all we do here is basically we check if isTypewriting is currently true. If it is, all we want to do is skip the typewriter effect, and if isTypewriting is false, we simply move to the next node. And remember, this function will be called whenever a user clicks on our next button. The very last thing we need to do is we need to move to the onEndNode function, which is right here. And here I'll just paste these 2 lines of code. All we do here is we remove all listeners for the onTypewriter start event and onTextShowed event. And now that's all the code that we needed to write, and we can return back to the Unity editor. Okay, so back in Unity, all you have to do is simply fill in this field. Now we can drag and drop dialog text right here. And that's it. Let's just hit play and see how it works. Alright, so I'll go ahead and pick up the heart. And now once the dialog UI shows, I will try to click on the next button as soon as I can, so that we can see whether the typewriter effect stops. So let me just press I on my keyboard, and now I'll press next. And as you can see, the typewriter effect stopped right away. And when I click on this button again, we will move to the next node. Alright, so that's it for this video. If you have some questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, or you can also post them in our Discord channel. And if you like the asset, please leave us a nice review, as it can really help us out. And I will see you in the next video.